Well, he bataka make. But Jaden Chase, they have to make the fans them know what really are going on.
What you talking about is Jaden Place. See me up to the time, a cartel. I represent for Jaden Chase. We spray them face on the AK rays. See me up to the time, the Gaza station.
Yeah, man, now move settings nation. And we no need no ladder. Now welcome to the channel. Yeah, man, Jaden Chase, and now we're gonna bring another exciting reasoning for the topic of dancehall and entertainment. So if you're new to the channel, just a pass through. But when you like the reason and of course you like the point of view, well, I'm suggesting to you that you click the subscribe icon and then kick in the like button. Now let's get right into the reasoning. Now nation, it has always been the view of citizens that the state took a special interest in the case of Vybz Kartel from the initial trial stages. It was expressed by Bounty Killer recently when speaking to Fat Joe, and it has also been expressed by his attorney Isaac Buchanan himself. Now based on this recent announcement by the UK Privy Council to have Prime Minister Andrew Holness added, which is an elite chamber of advisors to the British monarch. This has never been done in recent history. Plus with the fact that the Privy Council is the High Court set to grant Vybz Kartel and co-accused their freedom. Some have mixed reviews. I assure you, freedom is a must. I couldn't hear a clip from Isaac Buchanan when the transfer news broke and what he had to say about the state, and then continue the reasoning.
Recently moved from the Spanish Town prison to Horizon, which is, a more secured facility. The best persons to answer that would be the Minister of Security.
Yes nation, now let's continue the reasoning. Now this disclosure was made by the Governor General himself, and he said, and I quote, "Her Majesty the Queen has been graciously pleased to approve that the Most Honourable, in their sight, Andrew Holness, be appointed a member of Her Majesty's Most Honourable Privy Council." This means the government applied. Pleased to approve. Well, that reads as if a request was made. Why was it so important for Andrew Holness to be added to the Privy Council? Some have already cited that this is his last term. We will see. Truth be told is that politicians like to end their career with what they consider an illustrious career. Meaning so them want to tick all boxes. So then they do that. They went there. They were appointed to this. It's all about creating a certain legacy. That's why we have roads named after politicians. We have schools named after politicians. Things of that nature. So this might be something towards that respect. Again, we have to also think about recent actions by Andrew Holness, using dancehall music, of course, to champion his cause during the recent election, and then right thereafter blaming said dancehall music for the negative actions of citizens. A few citizens at that, because not every citizen of the island are commit, acts of violence or acts of crime. This though may also be very strategic. If Andrew Holness plans to win another election, one major move he could use during his campaign was that he was one of the individuals who championed the release of Vybz Kartel himself. And a statement like that, or doing something like that and then campaigning with it, would be very powerful. Not only in Jamaica but across the Caribbean diaspora. This wouldn't be anything strange. Based on court documents now released, unsealed, and are now public information, the proceedings are the way the initial trial took place. The fact that motions were not looked at, certain motions were overlooked, the evidence that was entered into open court as evidence, even though it was tampered with, all of these things now are now public knowledge. A fair trial was not given and constitutional rights were violated. Something, think about it. It's the Prime Minister's job to ensure that the society which he leads, is a lawful one. And with an entire nation of people calling for change, especially in the justice system, it would be a fitting place to start. Let's not trick ourselves though. Very few cases are taken to the Privy Council. Very few Jamaican cases, that is. And it's something cheap. And remember, you have already passed the appeal stage locally to even have your case considered, and then, we'll put other proceedings after that. Every time your lawyer moves for you, it costs you money. Lawyers are paid by the hour. So very few individuals, innocent or not, have had their case heard by the Privy Council. You know the settings and the sentiments. We just not trust. You know what I mean? Members of state. Certain members of state. So if you see one of them, I try to get themselves involved with a council, which we know will be handling shortly a superstar's case related to his very country. You know what I mean? He definitely gonna raise eyebrows. Let's say that. Let's just use that saying. It will definitely raise eyebrows. People are gonna wonder why him do it. Why was it so important for him to get this done? Where am I pre? Well, the reasons are numerous, and they are yet to be confirmed. But as to what we say, freedom is a must regardless of who sits on the panel, because the information is as reads. The case itself was a kangaroo court case, and we are in the 21st century, and no, this is no form of justice, and the English Privy Council will not stand for it. Recently the man them show us out them a friend politician. Remember, Portia Simpson and other then heads of the PMP party took their case to the Privy Council because they did not want to answer questions in open court that would prove maybe their guilt, according to them innocence, because if it would prove their innocence, they would have do it already. So I must something go maybe prove their guilt or help to prove their guilt. And they went to the Privy Council to say, they never did want to testify. And the Privy Council said, no, go back home and you have to testify. You know what I mean? Based on the nature of how the case look. The law is the law. So I'm a friend and company place. So Andrew Holness being there now have nothing to do with the law. And the first world approach thereof. Because that is it, Laws are similar across the globe, but it's the first world approach. Or approach rather. Because think about it. Policing is practically structured the same way, except that in different countries you have different task force. Like in America you have FBI, CIA, the PD, the sheriffs. You have only for different. You have ATF, you have ICE. Only for little different task force. But the procedures are the same. But it is the first world approach that is different. The fact that you have to pay more right and more attention to civilian rights to the way, police, areas where you have stop and frisk laws and areas where you don't. You have to have a good reason for stop and search somebody, or it could be looked at as harassing, or or just a different approach. Locally the same thing. But we have stop and frisk right across all 14 parishes. As long as they look suspicious, an officer can stop and frisk you. Or the same thing with the law. We have seen other cases where the DPP has said insufficient evidence. We have seen cases where them say, based on the evidence that them have and the lack thereof, them have to throw out them case there. The law is the same everywhere. Vybz Kartel's case should have been thrown out. Just like how them choose not to proceed with the other case with them that try to pin on Vybz Kartel. This one should have also been a case where them decide say, no, we cannot pursue this based on the fact that the lack of evidence. And it was the lack of evidence that pushed them to create some. Because if the evidence was there wouldn't be no need to create evidence. But because there was no evidence, it pushed them for Africa to dig and put things together and make it look like evidence. So, we see the story. We see that yes, the Prime Minister was added to the Privy Council. You know what I mean? It's a good look for him. You gotta say that. It's a major achievement for a Jamaican Prime Minister. There's no joke about that. You know what I mean? Even the whole title has now been changed and the whole settings. They might probably get a wig feel and a coat and the whole thing. You know, there's something go. But as to his reasons for wanting this, it could be legacy. It could be just that based on the fact that the state has always took a particular interest in anything Vybz Kartel related, and we see it. And on a joke, we see it. Even when them try to talk about what day when the leader of the party in power decides to say something about dancehall music and its connection to crime and violence. Certain words and certain things in that try to use and try to say. We see when that try to go with it. We see. So as I say, that alone have eyebrows raised, hearing that he is now a member of the same Privy Council set to release Vybz Kartel. I can campaign strategy. Look like him, I'll get a next 4 year in a people. If him say this, a next 4 year I'll guarantee if he's a part of the council and say watching, I was there and I championed the freedom of Vybz Kartel, that alone could ensure him another 4 more years. Talk to me in the comment section. Vice the one called Jaden Chase, the dancehall correspondent, the Gaza representative, and I'm reminding you now. If you're new to the channel, new to the movement, just a pass through, but you like the reason and of course like the point of view, well, I'm suggesting to you that you click the subscribe icon and then the bell icon and put it on all. And this is how you know you'll be notified of all fresh content as soon as fresh content is uploaded and made available for you right here on the platform. You know the something where the like icon is also in close proximity to the share icon. Drop a like and bust a share. Tell a friend, tell them sister, them brother, them for check out the channel, check out the region, join the discussion, comment section up with 24/7, never lucky yet. Just be respectful and mindful of the guidelines. But other than that, drop your thoughts, your comments and your opinions there. You might now move settings fam. My sentiments for you and yours is want to live, love and prosper. Until we reason again.